Rick Shaw here. It's the 14th Sunday of March. We got a nice, it's overcast, but the sun's peeking out from here and there. We had a little bit ago, we had a heck of a breeze. It was blowing those towels all over the place and everything, and then it quits. And then it starts again. So it's kind of one of them, like a March day in the Northeast. So that's just what it seems like to me. I know in the States they got a time change coming pretty soon, but I want to talk about something that expat retirees would probably be interested in, and that's golf here in the Philippines. I golfed here, even though I came here with a small amount. When I first came here, I met a fella, and I had brought a samurai sword with me, and in my golf bag, and this fella really wanted it, and I say, hey, I'll sell it to you. And he didn't have the money, what I wanted for it, and you can't get that one here. And he said, I'll tell you what I will do though. It's something I can afford. I'll take you golfing with me every time I go, and I'll pay for everything. Wow. Okay. So that's what we did for, it was 2.5, 3 years. I went golfing once or twice a week, and that was a lot of fun. So we went to a lot of good golf courses. I haven't been golfing for a while now with the kids and stuff. First off, I don't have the time. I don't want to be away from them that long. It's very slow here, something you got to know when you're playing golf here in the Philippines. It's not like the U.S. I've had times where hour and a half I could play 18 holes if nobody was in my way. In a normal day, even if there's people out in front of you, it's a couple hours. Not here. You're looking at 4 to 6 hours because Filipinos just absolutely know how to get in the way, and they do not know how to let you play through. They just don't, and the Rangers don't enforce it. Very rarely, I think twice since we were golfing, and you'll get these little ladies out there, and they'll just start cutting up and having a blast in front of you and not hitting their ball and you're just standing there, and you don't stew because it's going to ruin your game. But it's hard not to, so you're going to run into that. Unfortunately, we live close to a real hacker's course. This course that's right by our house, I played it a couple times. It's a hacker's course. I've been inside their manor. It's where my wife worked at Manila Southwoods. It's billed as this 5-star place. They got the food is ridiculous. Nice looking dining room. When you walk in, it looks great. The rooms are actually nice. They're modern. They look good. But when you're going to the rooms, we ran into hot hallways, grubby, old. Kind of reminded me of a 1950s Soviet health clinic. Paint chipping off everywhere. Elevator wasn't working. Had to walk all the way down to the end of the place and all the way back. This was visiting some friends that came here. They stayed there, and didn't want to stay with us because we didn't have air conditioning. So that's where they stayed. And so we had to walk all the way down. Nothing was working. It was crappy. Carpets threadbare. Just a crappy place. And of course, I didn't think the course was that nice. So like I said, $20 hacker's course. Played it a few times. Good caddies though. I had my wife's friends that were my caddy. I played around Manila, down at Villamor. That was a course I really loved. Designed very well. A lot of fun. That was a good course. My favorite course was Tagaytay Highlands. That was nice. I played at Elia Greenfields. They got like 3 different courses there. They got a couple of them that are just wide open. You can swing away. I actually had a guy in the golf club. He was their long driver. The guy could drive maybe. The guy could drive 250 on a good day if he really caught hold of it. And when I came along, he hated my guts because it's nothing for me to whack something 320. I was hitting a 2-iron farther than him. It's just the way it was. So he didn't like me. Was always contesting my score. Some Filipinos are like that, but that's everywhere, I guess. A lot of people get like that. But we got on this one hole at Elia Greenfields, and I smacked this ball right up in front of the green. And then he hit his ball. He hit his second shot right up by mine. He chipped on and got a birdie. I chipped on, 2-putted, got a birdie also, and he contested. No, I said, that was my drive, was at your second shot. No. You know, and he contested it. And then even the caddies were, no, sir, that's, you know, but he contested it, so when it came time for stuff that you could get, it was no good. So that was really stupid, just rotten people. But that's one thing I've always been able to do, is hit it far. First time I ever went golfing, my brother, we were on a 150-yard hole, and he's going to show me how to hit the ball. He's a good golfer, by the way. And he smacked a 7-iron right onto the green. Oh, cool. And I said, so that's the club I got to use, that number 7, right? And he's like, yep. And I took that number 7 and I sent it a good 30 yards completely over the green. And he just shook his head. And I says, that wasn't a very good choice for me, bro. You know, because it was gone. It was out in the woods way over. It cleared even the trees behind the green. So he says, oh, I don't know what to tell you. So I saw one that had a pretty good angle on it, said PW, and I smacked it right next to his ball. So I could always, I learned how real early, how to make them turn left, how to make them turn right. You know, before I got into it, I had been building clubs for a while. And then I started playing. I love the game. A lot of green fields I like. Manila Golf, they got Mount Malayarat or whatever. That's another course around here. When you come here, golf is not cheap. It's actually very expensive. That's why I don't play so much anymore. More expensive than I want to pay in time and money. It's just too expensive. You got to have a caddy here. And you got to make sure you get a good one. Ask for a Class A caddy. And start talking to them before you go, because they pull this shy crap and don't want to talk to you. I got on this course and I'm shooting a really good score. I'm shooting like even bogey. Bogey golf. That's, you know, I always call it, if I have a bad day, it's 3 over bogey, and if I have a real good day, it's 5 under bogey. So that's my game, guys. So I'm shooting even bogey, and we get down to, we make the turn, and there was no signs at this course to show you the hole, but I where's the hole, and she's just going like this. It's straight ahead. So she's seen how far I was hitting the ball, and there was a mound. There was this mound, and it was a par 5, and mishit my drive, and it kind of went way up in the air, and it landed in front of this mound, and I was with the other guys, though, with the other fellas. So I looked at her and I said, you know, how far to go? And she's just pointing at the marker, and I looked at the marker. Okay, it's a pretty long way. I didn't have my little GPS thing tuned to that course. I didn't know we were going there. I didn't even know that course was there. So then I went ahead and I thought, okay, I'm going to lay it. I'm going to put it just 100 yards off the green. You give me a 60-degree wedge and 100 yards, I'm golden. I mean, I can nail that thing and drop them right on the pin. So I'm thinking of getting it right at around 100, hit a easy 7-iron. I said, I'm going to lay this thing up. And she said, yeah, sir, yeah, sir. So, and I didn't go look over the hill. It was a few yards ahead. So I smacked this 7-iron, and it was a super long par 5. It should have been a par 6. And as far as how I mishit the drive, it was even a long hole for me. So I smacked that 7-iron. And we get up around the mound. I had smacked it right into this monstrous swamp. This thing was about a 4-acre swamp. And I looked at her and I said, why didn't you tell me there was a swamp? And she's just shaking it. You're fired. Get the hell out of here. Just get away from me. And I drugged my bag the rest of the time. And that chick did not get a tip. Then the manager said, you have to give a tip. You have to give a tip to this woman. It's a mandatory thing. And I says, I don't give a damn what you say. I'm not giving a damn thing. Nothing. And I was so mad about that, because I was working on a really good game. Now I got to go back to the tee, and that one hole, it was my explosion hole. I think I shot a 10 on that thing. And so watch out for that. Make sure you get the good caddy. Every time I went, I actually shot pretty fair scores at Manila, because I had her friend Bowley, and then Mount Manook. I had good caddies there. The best caddy I ever had since I've been here was at Tagaytay, or not Tagaytay, but Villamore. It was this fellow named Abe, And we get up on the first hole, and that course was very well laid out. It had a picture of the hole, and it was kind of like a bending to the right, but with trees there. And I thought, I watched the guys, I let everyone hit before me, and I was watching them hit drivers and stuff. Some guys went into the trees, some guys went out to the left. Nobody really hit it down the middle, and I thought, boy, I bet you if I just pop a nice smooth 7-iron, and I can land on that downslope, because it dropped. Once you got out about 180 yards, this thing just went down a big sloping hill and turned right around. But it was like banked like a race car. So I thought, I smacked this 7-iron, and I smacked that thing. I caught a hold of it dead on the button, and I smacked that thing about 190, 195, right up the center, and it made that turn, and it was laying right in front of the green. I actually putted on that first hole at Billimore. That's how far I hit that thing with a 7-iron. It's just lucky shot. And that guy knew all of a sudden I could hit the ball far, so he was right there with me every second, just like a tour pro. I shot my best score in the Philippines ever. Well, one of my best scores ever was actually there, because he was telling me exactly where to hit the ball. He knew right off the bat which club I needed to get the distance and stuff. We got on one hole, and it was really far. It was 200, I think it was 220 yards I had to go, and he hands me a 7-iron, and I looked at that, and I thought, well, I don't want to get it in my head to swing too hard. He says, you don't need to here. Believe me, you're gonna fly that. You'll fly that. It's just this hole for some reason plays short. Okay, so he said, just take the swing you've been taking. So I nailed it, and I did. I landed it on the green. I was like, longest 7-iron I ever hit. And then another hole, we were sitting up, and I'm looking at it, and it's above us, and it's like a dogleg right. There was no way to go over these trees, because it doglegged on an angle, and they got longer, and it was just nothing but woods and stuff. So I popped a 2-iron to get to the dogleg, and it was perfect. It was a good shot. And then I'm looking at 150 yards. So I pull out a 9-iron, and he's, no, this plays long. And he hands me a 5, and he says, it plays long. And sure enough, I thought, I'm gonna show him. And I hit that thing with I hit it very solid, a good 5-iron, and guess what? It was just on the back of the green. He said it probably could have been a 6, but you'd have been short. He said if you took that 9-iron, you'd been laying in the cabbage up front. So the dude was the absolute best caddy I ever ran into. He actually, on one hole, he told me to hit the ball into the woods. It's all wide open, and he was even showing me how to do the swing. He had caddy for 35 years. So if you get a caddy like that, you will shoot a better game. It's a two-man sport, one who runs the clubs and one who doesn't. But golfing's a lot of fun here. Just remember, like for me, it's just too expensive now with the kids. I can't justify me playing, even though it is my absolute favorite game in the world. I played every game you could play. Basketball, baseball, football, lacrosse. A little bit of soccer. I just think that's the most boring game, and they don't let you run all over the place. So you're tied in. I didn't like that too much, but played a whole bunch of games. But golf is absolutely my favorite. You can play that all the way into your till you just about croak. As long as you're walking, you can play golf. I've seen some people out there that really can play, and they're in their 90s. So it's a good sport for here. Most of them drive carts here. I always walked. I'm a walker. I don't like to be in a cart. I love the beautiful walk in the park. I wish my brothers could get out here and play. I used to love playing golf with them, and I wish they could come. Thanks, guys. My little boys came up and gave me a nice hug. But they're being quiet because I'm making a video. I started the first video, and Dorothy come up and just started yakking, whining about something right in the middle of the video. And I tell them, don't do that. Don't come whining to me anyway, whether I'm making a video or not. So, but my wife was a caddy for 16 years. She's a Class A caddy. Good caddy. She never caddied for me, though. She just won't. She refuses to. So, okay. But I'd like to go again here. I told her when I get down to Lipa after the house is in order, I want to go. I'm a 1-iron golf guy. Look that up, guys. 1-iron golf. My score was, I would pretty much shoot bogey golf or above. And then I built golf clubs for people and was selling them in my shop. I actually did really well on that. I got the science of the swing, club builders through GolfWorks and all that stuff, and really got into building clubs and swing and all that malarkey. And then my score just was staying the same, and I always thought these being of a different length. And as I researched it, when they started making golf clubs, True Temper said, everybody needs a certain one, and they couldn't do it like the old Hickory that were custom made. They wanted to mass produce, so they said, hey, we'll make it in different increments. This bean counter's doing this, not golfers. And they said, we're going to make it in different increments. That way at least 1 or 2 clubs will fit them. That's hence the steps in them. Well, this guy had One Iron Golf. He had a whole big thing on there. Go on his website, and I bought his clubs, and right off the bat, I started shooting under bogey golf. I actually had a couple times I was right up above par, and I had a couple times I was below par. One game I had, it was a par 72. We were playing from the they call them the blue tees at that course, and I was just hitting. My driver was on that day. It was just zeroed in. I could aim at a branch of a tree and just almost hit it. And my irons were just top notch. And one thing I've always had was putting. When I golfed, my average putts per round for years and years was 26 putts per round. That was my average, and I had a couple years where it went down to 24, like that. I can just putt, and if you've seen the way I putt, everybody and his brother tells me, oh, you shouldn't putt like that. You should putt with this and do that. No. You go back to some of the old golfers, how they used to putt. I don't use my shoulders to anything. I use nothing but my wrist. I anchor my wrist on my knee. I look at the hole. I do the Raymond Floyd type thing. I look at the hole when I'm putting. That gets my distance down. Once I line everything up, and I whack it. And I don't overthink the putt. I see these guys, they'll get up on a 3-foot putt, and they'll say, when they start looking at it and doing all this plumb bobbing and all this weird ass shit, you know what I do if I'm inside of 10 feet? I walk up there and whack it in the hole. Don't overthink your golfing, guys. Just smack the damn thing in the hole. Now, I did play, and maybe the tour pros got to do that, but I did play at, it's the one down at Coscombe Hill. Tiger Woods won, I think, his first Masters there, and they had a big thing where you could go there, and I got to play. So some woman was that we knew. Her husband was one of the founding guys. This woman was 98 years old, and she had a couple tickets, so I got to play that course, and we didn't play from their tees. They had special tees, the pro guys. We played from up on the regular white tees, and I was hitting the driver well. Was hitting the irons well. First green I got to is a really big green, by the way, and I looked at the hole, and I was a good ways away. I'd say I was a good 30 feet from the hole, and I thought, okay, and it looked like it was going to make this right-hand turn. So I aimed a little bit left, and I thought, I saw him on TV, it's pretty fast, so I didn't whack it, I gave it a nice tap, and that ball made that right turn. Right before it got to the hole, it made a left turn, and it rolled all the way down the thing into the water. I shot like 138 on that course. So guys, if you're golfing and you watch these tour pros, they're something special. I shot a 138 at that course. So, it's really something. Here, the greens, oh my goodness, I've seen so many of these little Filipino guys shuffling with their steel spikes on and ripping it up. They got a rule here now, it's no steel spikes, but a lot of these old timers got them anyway, and they just tear the greens up. People here do not fix the ball marks. The caddies got to do it, and if the caddies lax at all, in some of these places they are, they'll leave ball marks all over. The greens are just horrible, especially at Southwoods. Some of them caddies get in there and clean it up really good, and they rake your bunkers for you and all that. But personally, myself, I would rather not have a caddy. I always did that myself. I fix the hole. That gives me time to look at everything, put my coin in there, look at it, walk around the green a little bit. I don't want no caddy doing all that. Raking the bunker. That's another thing I love to play out of. One time I was playing with 3 of my buddies. Well, my son was with me and 2 of my buddies, and everybody was trying to hit onto the green, and the ball just wasn't sticking on this green. The green was actually sloping away, and it was shooting off the back, and the people who came up short had to go over this hump and everything, and it was like just terrible. And to the right, forget it. It was cabbage. But to the left was this big old long sand trap. So I hit my ball straight in that sand trap. And then I went ahead and I smoothed it out of the sand trap and made a good putt. And I was the only one to par that one. I was a par on that day. Some days I'm lucky to get a par, guys. I am. And sometimes I'll be shooting the most wonderful game of bogey golf. And then I'll have a explosion hole where I shoot an 8 or a 10. You know, but my brother gave me the best advice I ever had. I was gonna just start hitting irons. He said, "No, keep hitting them woods." And I says, "Yeah, they're woods because that's where I'm going." He says, "Yeah, but you're gonna learn how to get out too." And trust me, I learned how to get out of the woods. I used to watch the guys on TV, what they did, and I did. I did learn how to get out of the woods. I got a good game for that. Getting out of cabbage and stuff. I did learn a lot of lessons on golf, especially here. You know, sometimes it's best just to hit back to the fairway. I actually had a hole one time I played, I had to hit it backwards about 50 yards. I'm serious, because it wouldn't have been good. So you learn that stuff. Sometimes if you get an older person goes with you who's a really good golfer, let them tell you how to play. Listen to your caddies here. If you ask for an A1 caddy, don't get one of these newbies and one of these dumb ones. And believe me, they abound. They abound here. And even some of the A1s are, well, one of them that I know of that was absolutely worthless. But Tagaytay Highlands was absolutely my favorite course. Even just the ride going to there is beautiful. It goes around the mountain. It goes around this beautiful mountain. It's very well maintained. They got fantastic food there. Southwoods, you got a sandwich bar and some garbage food. We went out, sat under the veranda one time, and they cooked a bunch of food. I had curry and all that stuff. It wasn't too bad, but was it worth what the cost was? No. Just to get more golf, I told my buddy I'd rather not eat. I'd rather not eat that stuff because it wasn't that good. Now, when we were at Tagaytay, I ate that day. Their food looked really good. You get over there to Southwoods, it's all fried stuff, and who knows who's cooking it. They're going after the cheaper one. Now, I haven't been there a few years. I heard an American guy took over, and some of the caddies are saying it's definitely getting better from when you were there. More strict, that's for sure. So it's an American guy running it. You know, when Filipinos sometimes, I ain't trying to knock them because I guess it happens all over the world. Filipinos are sometimes they think, good enough. You know, it's good enough for the Filipinos, but if you come here to golf, unless you go to certain golf courses, you're not catered to with a beautiful green park. You know, personally myself, if I was in the States, Southwoods would be a $20 hackers course. End of story. I used to play at a course that was so much nicer. I used to go with my buddy Ed, and we used to go to this. It was an old military one that the city got, and it opened back up. It was just the most beautiful course in the desert. And they told us, if you're ex-military, you pay one time, and it was $18, $1 a hole. If you pay one time, you can keep playing all day. And then after the second or third time we come, they liked us down there. The big heavy-set lady who was running the place, she said, "Hey, guys, just pay for 9 holes because you get to still keep playing." And my buddy Ed and I, even though he was like 23 years older than me, we would get there early in the morning as soon as daybreak, and we would play all the way till dark. I'm talking marathon, 14, 15 hours of golf. We'd bring our lunch, plenty of water. I used to bring it and leave it in the vehicle in the ice chest, and we'd make a turn and stop, get something to eat. And not eat. We'd bring apples. Fruits. When you're golfing, you want to stick with fruits and stuff like that. You don't want to eat anything heavy. Keep the water. I actually got dehydrated one time. Well, one of the guys in the club was that I played here was worked in a clinic or something like that, and he looked at my skin. He says, "You're dehydrated." You know, and I started pounding the water. And you can dehydrate real quick here, especially since I'm a walker. And I rain all over the course. After I walk through, the grass turns green, you know, because I'm just sweating all over it. But the golfing's really good. here. I don't know if any of you guys down like Cebu and when you get down to Davao and all that, if you could mention anything about the course. You golfer guys, anything mentioned about the courses there, leave them in the comments. That would be really cool. If I ever get back to golfing again, I do want to golf when I get down to Batangas. I'll bring the camera and just turn it on and off to give you certain spots and stuff. Try to zoom it in a little bit on the courses. Mostly show you the greens and stuff. But I've come to find out the greens, they're different. I actually do putt good on them because they're slower. They're slower than the greens in the States. Most all of them, so I can really whack it good. And another thing, if anybody ever seen my putter, my wife's putter at 4'7" is longer than mine. It's super short. It's only about as high as my knee. And it was the first putter I made, and I kept shortening it up till I got to where I liked it. I started looking at the hole, and I don't listen to people tell me how to play golf, especially when it comes to putting, because you look at their stats and they're putting, 40 some putts around, and I'm sitting there at 20-something. So I just quit listening to them, and you wouldn't believe how many people are experts at golf that can't shoot a game bogey golf like me. And for me, it's rare to go under, but I do get those crazy days where when all three of them are working together. Putting always was good. Sometimes my driver, I just put it away. I used to go up to this one course. I forget the name of the town it was in California, though. They called me Iron Man because it was super, super narrow, and I left the woods, all of them, at home. I didn't bring, I always carried just a driver and a 5-wood. I can hit a 5-wood as far as a 3-wood. Plus, I can make it do lots of really cool things. I can make it turn left, turn right, high, low. So what do I need a 3-wood for? It's just for on the tee. And if I'm on the tee and need a 3-wood, what the heck? I'll just hit a 2-iron. I carried a 1-iron for a long time, but when I got into the 1-iron set, it was a little bit different. It was less lofted. Morning. So, that's why I used it. But guys, serious, check out 1-Iron Golf. Go to that guy's site. I'm getting ready to reshaft mine. One thing that happened to my clubs here, I got the 1-Iron Golf clubs. First thing to do, if you know anything about clubs, is strip the grips off, or at least pop a hole in the top. Put an ear plug down in the bottom so that it doesn't get the WD-40 into the glue and make it release and your club head falls off. But stick that in there, squirt some WD-40 in there, and then wipe it out, because they rusted from the inside, those clubs, and they're just ruined. They were completely ruined. So, and me, I got to where I just retired them, cut them off, because I didn't want that club head flying somewhere and killing somebody. I've been known to driver shafts of just busting the hell out of them. I don't use graphite at all. I probably broke 20 of these graphite things. Graphite's just a big pile of bull crap. The farthest drive I ever hit was with a Kevlar golf club head and a True Temper $2 shaft I got off of Golf Works out of Ohio. They had a special on them, and I do that matching where you put it in the little. You got 2 bearings in a little holder in a vise, and you pull down, and then you spin the shaft, and you find where it bows the most, and that's how you match it. And it does help with your accuracy, guys. I build clubs. It helps everybody. So I did that, but that was with a 10.5 Kevlar head, and it was a True Temper, and it was at, I think I had it at 45 inches in length. That one was at 46, and I was on a 500-yard hole. Well, actually, it wasn't 400 yards. It was a 500-yard hole. I hit a natural draw when I don't come over the top, and I just went ahead and swung away. I whacked it was a wide open hole. There was a hole number 9 going out that way, and hole number 4 that way, and if I was in the other fairway, big deal. I can still go to the green. So I swung away with all the mustard I could put on that ball, and it was laying just about a foot from the 100-yard marker. That day, the guy who owned the course actually even went and put a plaque there, because I was golfing with the owner and his wife and my buddy Johnny, and they put a bronze plaque in concrete on that spot. And he actually he was an old World War II vet. He actually brought this big World War II ranging thing for artillery. He was an artillery man, and he put that right where I teed off. We were dead in the center of the tee box, and he put it right there, and he aimed that thing, and it came out to 399 yards on his thing. That was my longest drive, and it was dead in the center of the fairway too. It went out to the right and then came back, and then when it hit the ground, it was like a jackrabbit. We actually couldn't find it at first, because we're looking way back from that. We're looking at around 320, 330 yards, which was a normal hit for me. But this one, I knew it was better than that. And then one of the people from the hole on the green, they're waving at us like this, and we went up another 100 yards, and there it was land. So, and it was my ball. I put a ring completely around the ball because I balance them. I put them in that little thing on my drives, and I spin them. And then I put that circle around them, and I line it up that way, so when you're hitting the ball, that's its axis. It wants to spin that way. Try that, guys. It'll help on your drives if you're like me. And then when I hit it, also, it leaves a mark on the club head that I can wipe off with a little alcohol-y rag or a wet rag, but it shows you where on the club head you're hitting. Sometimes I'll hit towards the toe and hit towards the heel, and that bulging club face will start making it do all kinds of weird stuff I don't intend. So that's it. But golfing here, guys, if you can swing it, get it. If you can swing it and can pay the money that you're going to charge. Mostly golf here, a cheap place to golf is going to cost you $100. Expensive place is going to cost you anywhere between $150 and $200. That's what I've been seeing. I'm glad I had that samurai sword, or I wouldn't have been golfing here. I made golf 2-3 times, but instead I golfed almost 200 times. So I got that kind of out of my system. I want to get back to golfing. I want to, big time. I would love to play every day. I actually had, when I was the boss of the Applesauce, I used to go in the morning and play a quick 9, and on the way home I'd play another 9 at this course that was, right by my house. So, even if it was dark, it was lit. This place had lights on it, so I could get in there early. They had night golf there and all kinds of stuff. I always just took irons, and that course was a short course. I don't remember the par. I think it was a par 60, like that. So I would 7-iron. I'd bring a 7, 9. I actually carry in my bag, I carry a custom-made 65-degree wedge I made, and also a 70. Because these guys that can open up the face on a 60 and cut across it and do all that stuff, nah, I don't want to play with that. It doesn't help me at all. I take a 65. That's good for about 75, and the 7 degrees is good at about 45 yards. I actually went went out to places with a buddy of mine. We had a rangefinder, and plus he'd stand out there on like a football field. We'd mark everything. We'd mark it at this thing, and I'd just start hitting that same club. And we did it over a period of a couple days, and we got my average hit. A lot of times I had this little, I can't remember what brand, Callaway. And when I'd hit the ball, I pushed a button, and I would push what club I used. Then I would walk to my ball, hit the button again, and it would average my clubs for me. And it would tell me, okay, you're averaging with your 7-iron 180 yards. And that's what it tells you. So it would recommend a club for you. It's the coolest little thing. I have it here. The battery still works. It won't get me through a full round, I'm sure of it. But that was the best golf caddy I ever had in my pocket. The only bad thing, the screen was small and it was hard to see in the light. So I'm sure they got better ones today. Mine's 12 years old. So, but that was the greatest one. I used it here. The other bad thing was the outside got all sticky. It had some kind of bad outing in the sun. It made it all sticky. It's like when you get electrical tape all over you. It just leaves that sticky crap all over. But it helps you with your grip. So I didn't wash it off. I just let my hands get sticky. I use the big Tacky Max super big grips. My hands aren't super small, but they're not overly big either. But I like those big ones. It helps me control the club with my fingertips, and then I can I can turn irons around the corner. I'm not kidding you. I can make them turn left, turn right. I learned that from watching. I think it was Jack Nicholson's book he wrote. I read a lot of books, every book there was that I could find on golf, and like I got from Raymond Floyd, his book, Look at the Hole. I look directly at the hole when I'm putting. I'm not looking at, I already know my swing's going to hit that ball. I already practiced that. So what do I need to look at me hitting the ball for? Nobody who hits a ball in any other sport is looking right here. Baseball player, they're not looking right here. They're looking out there. Let your swing happen. So that's what I did, and that's when my putting right off the bat. Even my father one time, he came along with me. He didn't golf, but he came along with me, and he said, man, you are the best putter I've ever seen. And somebody else who's I got my oldest brother. Boy, I'll tell you what, I went with him one time. He can putt too. He can really, if he misses, it's right around the hole. At least the few times I golfed with him, I was really impressed with his putting. Way to go, bro! But I'm looking forward to golf, bros. I wish one day you could swing it to come out here. Me, I don't. With this, I had some trouble with the heart, and they tell you don't go on the plane because they cut your oxygen down. And even when I was coming back here, I got in distress. They were actually talking about diverting the plane. And this is one thing about flat Earth too. You know, coming out of Japan, you're supposed to be going across the Pacific Ocean, right? And they're going to divert the plane. And wouldn't they be talking about landing in Hawaii? But no, they were talking about landing in Alaska. So if you look at the world globe, it goes from Japan over. So why would you be heading all the way north to go to Alaska? And the Airbus I was on was showing us a map of us going straight across the Pacific and how fast we're getting. You know, it's all smoke and mirrors. So don't get me started on flat Earth, guys. So, but that's my long-winded golf thing today. Golfing here in the Philippines, and do it if you can. It's a blast. It is absolutely my favorite sport. If I could only ever play one sport, that would be it. I wished I'd have started when I was young. I didn't start golfing until, I don't know, I think I was, I guess 40. I don't know. I forget exactly when it was. It wasn't all that long ago, when I started. So, but it's a great game. It's like my most favorite. I should have started when I was young. But I've known people, some people it seems like in golf you either got it or you don't. I've seen people take lessons for years and years. I had one buddy who he was taking lessons, and he went to different people to take lessons and stuff, and he just always shot around the same. He'd shoot about a 120. That was his average. So, take your swing and run with it, like my dad told me one time. He says, nobody can tell you. I know they tweak these pros and they have to change their swings and all this. That's pro level. If you're going, get out there for fun. Don't worry about your score. I had one guy I golfed with. He constantly worried about the score, and he would cheat and do dirt mulligans and rollovers and do all this stuff and kick the ball out. And if that's the game you're going to play, and then you say you shoot this certain score, no. Something. Wherever I hit my ball out of a cow patty one time. I'm not kidding you. And I had big white socks on, and I tell you what, it had cow poo all over my socks. It splashed, but I played it. Played it where it lied. I had to play. I don't touch it. Don't roll it over. There's no such thing as a mulligan. I have the rules of golf. I have them. I looked inside that book. It's a little one that can get wet in the rain. It's like plastic coated pages, and it's all the rule of golf. So from 2004, I think I got that book. Went down to Golfsmith and I bought a bunch of stuff, and they gave me the book. It was one of the freebies at the counter. They give you a lot of cool stuff when you shop at Golfsmith. And I went ahead and looked in there, and you know something? Not one thing about winner rules or mulligans or anything like that. So it tells you everything how you're supposed to do it. And if you play it by the rules and you can shoot bogey golf, I think you're a heck of a golfer, because I think I'm pretty damn good when I can shoot bogey. So, but I was off for a long time. I was off for a couple years, and I was able to get a game in, and I was so happy. I knew I wasn't going to be playing as well. I didn't touch the driver. I just started hitting irons, and my putting was still decent, but the irons weren't 100% there, and when I did hit the driver, it went awry. I came over the top and I hit it straight left into the cabbage, and instead of taking a drop, I tried to hit it out of the cabbage, and it was very cabbagey. But I shot a 99, so I was extremely happy about that. That's my game, guys. That's my game. So I'm gonna let you go. It is a see how it's clearing up. I know it's gonna clear up today. It's a beautiful day. No tutor today. We're just having gonna be a nice easy day. We're gonna go over to our buddy's house in a little bit. We went over yesterday to visit him. It was his wife's birthday. Brought a cake and had dinner with our buddies. And little Moon got to see his girlfriend. He's 3 years old. He got a girlfriend. So that was a really nice day. We got home pretty late last night. I actually got up. The sky was blue. First time in a long time I woke up when the sky was blue. So that was we were out till 10, and then I watched this movie, Tunnel Rats from Vietnam. I was able to download it to my phone, and that was boy, talk about some weird gore movies. And it was like Mars Attacks. Pretty much everybody got killed. So, guys, all take care. Don't forget to pray for each other, and thank the good Lord for every breath. Rick Shaw out. Hey guys, here's just a quick encore. Just chit-chatting with my bro, and he said, "Oh, you ought to tell him about that best game you had." And I forgot about it. I'm going to tell you real quick here. I went out to my brother's house and stayed there overnight because we're going to get up at the crack of dawn and go play golf. So we got up in the morning and we get out to the course, beautiful course that he played at. Kind of medium, not a wide open course, but I'll take the driver on the first hole. The first hole's wide open. And I cracked this drive about 350 right down the center. Hit a 60-degree wedge, boom, first hole birdie. Next one's a par 3. I hit that dang thing. I nailed a perfect 60-degree wedge. About 120, it was downhill, and it just stuck. It was like shooting darts. Now, I wasn't dead on the pin because I couldn't shoot at the pin. It was kind of roly-poly. So I shot just to the fat part of the green, and damn if I didn't put it up over that little rise, and it went right in the hole. Wow, 2 birdies. I was just, my hairs were standing up on my neck. I was doing good. Next hole we get to is a par 5, but it's a dog leg, and I thought, I got that 10-degree driver. I'm gonna nail this thing over top of these trees. And there was one big tree, and my brother said, a lot of people have been in that tree. You don't want to be under there. And I said, I can get over it, bro. And I have some tees in there that are good 4 inches long, and I teed that thing up high, put it off my left toe, and really lamb-basted that thing like you never seen. And I shot that thing up. It looked like a 60-degree wedge when it took off, but you could hear the ball screaming, and it went right over top of that tree, and it cozied up right on the fringe of the green, around that dog leg. And I putted up the hill, rolled it in, got my first eagle I ever had. Get to the next hole, disaster struck. Absolutely explosion hole. My brother woke me up. Bye guys, take care.